Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, community coach. We have a special guest who's going to be talking on the 30th at our live event. And I wanted Brad to come here to share with you what he's going to be covering with you at our live event. So Brad is a business owner, a accomplished leader in the community, and I wanted you to have access to Brad. So Brad, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put the slide up on the board and I'm going to drop out, and I appreciate you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me. So what I'm going to be covering at the event is essentially scaling a service business, right? And we're going to talk about three critical topics that are so important when you think about scaling any business. But since my expertise is in home services, roofing to be specific, so we're going to talk about scaling a service business. We're going to talk about practical systems. We're going to talk about AI best practices and leadership for sustainable growth. And so what it really is it'll be a practical leadership session for contractors who want to scale without becoming the bottleneck. It kind of, we'll kind of get into operating systems, leadership, disciplines, real world AI best practices, not hype, but how can you actually implement it in the easiest, most effective way possible. And some key takeaways that you'll get from it will be being able to recognize if you are in a bottleneck, right? A founder bottleneck or operator bottleneck. And then what are the operational gaps, right, that are limiting your growth? You'll be able to evaluate where sales, production, communication, reporting, different workflows, where they break down, and what a possible solution could be, right? And then the thing that I'm most excited about, because I love AI. We're going to talk about some practical ways to implement AI in automation, some best practices that will help you reduce some friction in your business, help you improve visibility in your business, and strengthen execution while keeping humans in the loop. That's an important thing to understand too. I'm a firm believer that AI isn't here to replace humans. It's here to make us more efficient and to free up humans to do what humans do best, which is things like we're doing right now, right? Conversations, building relationships, business development, those types of things. So, and then we'll walk through how to create an action plan for improving those things, improving scalability, accountability, customer experience through discipline, right? Being disciplined to use these systems, leverage the technology that's available, and produce a good outcome for you and your customers. So that's it in a nutshell. What I'll be going over. Simple but effective, and I think that's kind of the name of the game in home services, right?
Awesome. Hold on. Thank you, Brad. Can I ask you, when it comes to technology, because I ask people on the podcast a lot, is how are they using AI? And you are one of the very few people that got deeper than just emails and, answering questions and kind of doing the basic things. What do you think, as you have developed BuilderLync and you're leaning into technology and AI, what got you on that path to really leverage something that's transformational?
A need, experiencing pain, because as a contractor, the first thing was utilizing way too many systems. It shouldn't take 5 or 6 different pieces of software to do one thing. And that's just the reality of being a contractor these days. So that was the first thing, was we just wanted to find a solution to streamline things and put them all in one place. And that's how BuilderLync was born, out of a necessity for our own companies. BuilderLync, there's 4 partners in BuilderLync. 3 of us own roofing companies, and 1 is a computer programmer, developer, software guy. And
Mhm.
so we've built it out of what actually works. And then once we built it from an organizational perspective, then we started thinking, well, this already makes us more efficient. And so now that we have the architecture, because my philosophy is architecture first and then automation. Because if you're trying to automate chaos, well, you're
Mhm.
automating chaos, and I mean, it's not going to work, right? So once we had
Absolutely.
it built like that, we started layering in AI practically, right? Not just all at once, like let's go with the flavor of the month type situation and things like that. But we tested AI, we saw what worked, and then we saw, and we were self-aware or aware of other people as well, to understand that most people, the general public, aren't going to be as they're not going to be able to use AI as easily as my team and I, right? Because that's what we do. So we have implemented it inside of BuilderLync so that it's intuitive, so that it's easy to use. And I'm really excited about BuilderLync because we launch V1, because it's not just a in-house, like Capital City Roofing runs on BuilderLync, yes, but we are going to make it available to the public June 1. Matter of fact, right around the corner, June 1's our public
Mhm.
launch for BuilderLync. So we're super excited about that.
What do you think? When I looked at your information online, I had forgotten like how long Capital City Roofing had been around, and I looked at it, and about my jaw dropped because it looked like, and I remember my conversation that it had been a longer time frame, and I looked at your reviews, and you never find a roofer with 5-star reviews. I mean, all I read some of them going like, what on earth? Because it's so hard to please in the roofing business because there's so many kind of, I don't want to say sketchy things, but so many people can get in it and get out of it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really get a good reputation. What do you think technology, how did it help you grow so fast and take care of your customer like you're doing online and what I was able to see?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up. It's the reason why I got into roofing, because I come from the corporate world, and I saw a huge gap in that industry because, well, you nailed it on the head. I mean, there's a lot of shady folks running roofing companies. There's no
Yes.
barrier to entry in Georgia. You don't have to have a license to be a specialty contractor. So anybody, we call them chucking a truck.
Mhm.
Anybody can go say they're a quote roofing company. So that's the first thing. And it's just, look, man, it's just being a decent person. Like, doing what you say you're going to do,
Mhm.
doing it, doing a good job, taking care of something if you make a mistake, because people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. My company we make mistakes. But you know what? We also fix it, and we stand behind it, and we warranty it, and we answer the phones when people call, and we don't run away or hide or make excuses. We take care of our customers, because that's what you should do. And then the technology piece, it just makes things easier or more efficient, not just for my employees, but for the customers too. Because let's say you're calling and you need to get a hold of somebody for your roof. Well, if my staff can't answer, then my AI assistants can. And the AI assistant is a lot better than an answering machine, because let's face it, whenever I leave a voicemail for someone, I don't know if they're actually going to listen to it or not. And then I don't
Mhm.
know if they're already too busy to answer their phone. They're probably too busy to check their voicemail, right? But my AI agent, her name's Megan, she can get things done. She can do
Mhm.
stuff. She knows more about roofing than I know, because she doesn't forget. It's amazing. So it's about efficiency and the customer experience. That's really what we're focused on.
I love it. I'm reading a book by Jeff Henderson. And it's like for you, and it's like when you're for your customer, when you're for your employees, when you're for making that a priority, the culture becomes better. Everything flows. When you launch BuilderLync, what do you hope to see happen in the industry by making available technology and your philosophy of leadership?
I hope it makes everybody better. I hope it makes the other contractors better. I hope it makes it easier for them to do the right thing. I hope it makes it easier for them to answer the phone, to stand behind their work, to do what they say they're going to do. Because a lot of times I think that, unfortunately, a lot of the corners that are cut, or whatever it is, it might not be from ill intent. It might just be from a lack of organization or a capacity problem, and that's likely, right? And so if we can help make people more efficient, it will give them more capacity to devote to customer service. That's the thought.
Yeah, my partner, this was 3-4 years ago, and he has an AI agency. And so he would tell me, Pete, how are you using AI in your business? And I said, I don't have time for that. And, I would push away, and he'd push back and keep reminding me. And it wasn't until I had my aha moment, because I grew up dyslexic and ADHD. So writing was not my friend, formulating things. And then when I put my first program together, first course, I gave AI all the prompts, and it spat out something. It blew my mind. It would take me 6 months to a year to put that thing together. And I was like, what just happened? And it was like that light bulb moment. Did you have a light bulb moment in your journey that all of a sudden you went, holy crap?
So I've been fascinated with AI since it was popular, like since before ChatGPT was called ChatGPT. And I'm the first guy to try out any new AI thing that comes out, and that stuff. But what excited me about it was I would always push its limits. So I still do it to this day. Like, if I know that fundamentally, by the code that it's written on, if I know fundamentally it can do something, I make it do it. Because sometimes this is where AI and humans are alike. Sometimes the AI is lazy, and sometimes the AI isn't truthful to you. They will make excuses why they can't do something, or things of that nature. And I'll challenge it, and I'll be like, no, I know you can do it. You have the tools and resources to do it. I'm giving you permission to do it. Now do it. And it'll come up with some amazing things.
What do you think with BuilderLync? I'm intrigued by technology, and I always like try things and push. I have to learn it myself, and I'm always spending that time because AI has given me extra time to dig into the important things. When you look at putting together this for builders, like you talked about a little bit about it, can you go into a little bit more detail about what kind of outcome are they going to see? Let's just say the typical, which I think is a builder who's not technology savvy. They're in their 60s, and they're not interested in learning a lot of new technology, but they need to be aware of it, because even when you retire, you got to keep growing, keep going. So speak to me from a 60-year-old that's not tech savvy. but they embrace BuilderLync. What do you see that journey looking like?
So the first thing that it's going to do for anybody is keep you more organized, and keep you. I call it. It's one source of truth. So if you think about, and I think a lot of businesses are this way, but definitely home services, you have a CRM. And if you don't have a CRM, you need a CRM. But you have a CRM, or some people are still tracking their customer data in an Excel spreadsheet or whatever the case may be. But you have somewhere, hopefully, that you are tracking and organizing your leads and your customer data and your follow-up and what stage of that customer cycle it's currently in and what's the next one and those things. Hopefully you have that. And then you're also going to have something completely separate for estimating, to be able to price it and figure out how much it costs. And then you're going to have another piece of software that's going to organize that data into a nice looking presentation or a proposal, or a contract, right? And then you're going to have something completely else if you want to do automation or um, like marketing funnels, like top of the funnel things. Like you have five, six, seven, up to a bunch of these different softwares that if you want to do a really great job nowadays and compete with the other contractors, you're going to need to leverage these pieces of software. So the simple fact that we've taken all of that software and we've used it and we've learned it and we have figured out what do we like about it, what don't we like about it, and we've taken all of the good features and we've put them all in one piece of software. That's a huge time saver in and of itself. And then you layer on the economics of it, which is we don't charge for extra seats. So if you have a lot of softwares will be like, you sign up with us, it's, however much a month and up to 3 seats. And then as you add an additional seat, which is just an employee, then it's an extra $50, $100 a month, whatever it is. And if you're running a decent size outfit, that can be very, very expensive. And we don't have extra seat cost. It's you put as many people in as you want to. And so that's a huge win. So organizational, monetary, and then productivity, because now that you've got everything in one place, that's where AI really helps out, because you don't have to worry about figuring out how to integrate the AI from one platform to the other, whether it's through APIs or MCPs or webhooks, Zapier, whatever it is. You don't have to do it because it's all in the same software. It all talks to each other natively, and it helps. And here's what I love about AI too. And we have this built into BuilderLync. There's a chat that you can talk to the AI, and you can literally say, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? I need to do this. How do I do that? And the AI will walk you step by step how to use it.
Dang, I love it. When you jumped into the green room and I was talking to my friend George, he'll be speaking there, but we've had numerous conversations about the business that the gentleman's 70 years old. He's been doing contracting his whole life, and he's ready to kind of like take a different role, but he doesn't want to give up. He wants to sell his business, but it's not in a position where somebody can take that business with the advantages of technology. Would you see that working? Like, he runs a water mediation mold company. This is not the business I'm talking about, but this is George. Is that something he could leverage? He's not a roofer, but he's a contractor. He's putting together a project. He has all his subs that are coming in. There's different things going on, a lot of moving pieces. would that be helpful for him to
100,
implement in his company?
100%. Yes, 100%.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Oh man,
Yep.
I can't wait to tell him because this was a while back, maybe a year. I was talking to him and I said, "Hey, what did you do after we left?" He goes, "I had to go home and put together this estimate." And I said, "Oh, really?" Like, yeah, it took me like 4 hours. I was going, "Dang, I mean that when you
Yeah.
think," and he's a people guy like you. I mean, he just loves to be around people. And when you're doing the details, when you're in the weeds, it just
Yeah.
drains you. It
Yeah.
just it just pulls the life out of you. And
Yep.
the more you can be doing what you do best, like building those relationships, talking to your customers, and not doing all the detail stuff,
Yep.
you're in a great mood all the
Oh yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, definitely can't wait. So it's coming out June 1.
June 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good, dang, good
Yeah.
timing. 30th of May, you'll be meeting. I'm trying to think where he is on the program.
That is good timing. I
He's
didn't
right before you. He's right before you. So
I didn't even think about that. That is good timing. It's literally like boom,
yeah,
boom.
he is the speaker right before you. Okay,
Nice.
dang, that's gonna be great. Yeah, because it's funny. I had a friend that he left Home Depot and he went off to do this software, and I've been trying, and I didn't put two and two together after our talk because you told me BuilderLync was coming out. I just didn't get my hands around it, but I've been trying to get him on the podcast because I want George to find that system.
Mm-hmm.
I always talk, it's going to release your superpowers because
Yeah.
the more you're with people, people love working with him. They love being around him, but he spends too much time in the weeds.
Yeah.
So
And,
this would be
and
great.
that's the case for a lot of home service
Yeah.
businesses. That's what happens. Then that's what I call the founder bottleneck. Um,
Yes.
yeah. And
Totally agree.
and this is what we'll talk about. This is what I'm going to talk about um, during my presentation is identifying these things and how to fix them.
I'm familiar with EOC. It's EOC, right? Is those the initials?
EOS.
What's EOS? I get them. So when did you lean into EOS? Because I've read the books. I love it. I mean, I embrace that. When in your journey was that became part of your life?
So when I was at Lowe's, I was introduced to EOS. Lowe's doesn't
Mhm.
formally run on EOS, but a lot of the same principles are true there. And then I had a mentor there that gave me traction and told me to read it and then talked to me about it and taught me it. And so I've been running on EOS for a long time. And I
Mhm.
implement it in every single one of my businesses. Like, for instance, when I came on to BuilderLync, I came on as a chief strategy officer. Just it was going to be for advice, access, uh, leveraging my network to talk about it, things like that. Well, when I came
Mhm.
into it, I said, well, if I'm going to be a part of it, we've got to run on EOS. And so we implemented it, and we actually went on a clarity break. Every quarter you have a clarity break. So a group of us, there was 5 of us. We went on a clarity break got a beach house and for a whole weekend, and then we talked about the business. And then after that was over, it was unanimous. They were like, well, if we're gonna run on it, then you need to be the CEO. And so then I became the CEO of the company. And I'm so humbled by that because everybody involved in this venture are A plus plus
Mm.
operators.
Mhm.
Blake Grissom runs a roofing company in Charleston, South Carolina. James Kuntz runs a roofing company in Austin, Texas. And then Sean Richard, who's the founder, he runs AI companies, several of them, has exited a couple of them. He's a software computer engineer guy, right? And so for them to do that really speaks to EOS as of a system, because when you take ego out of things and you say, let's be organized, let's keep the business top of mind. That's what we're all here for. So let's do what's in the best interest of the business, whether that's whatever the case may be. And I am so grateful and just love the guys that I am blessed to work on this project with, and it's something special. It's going to help a lot of people.
That's exciting. Do you know a gentleman by the name of Scott Edwards?
That sounds familiar.
He's up in Cartersville, and he has a company that supplies the supplies, I guess the shingles and something to do. He supplies builders
Okay.
with, I'm not sure it's his shingles or the different parts, but he's a good friend of my son-in-law's, and so he was just telling me a little bit about his business. I don't know him personally, but from what I understand, there's like 2 or 3 main suppliers of
ABC Supply, QXO, and SRS are the big 3.
I think that last one might be. I'll find out. I'll text you. I'll text my son-in-law and see what the name of his company is, because I'll definitely, if you don't know him, I'll introduce you, because he touches a lot of builders, obviously, with that part of his business.
Right.
And automation is everything. I mean, you better be leaning into automation, or you're going to be left behind, and you're not going to be able to catch up, because the world's moving fast. Well, Brad, I want to be respectful of your time. Thanks so much. We look forward to having you on the 30th and having you share with people. I mean, it's exciting to see BuilderLync come out and make that impact in the world of the contractor world. They need that technology. It's needed, and it's going to be embraced like a long lost friend once they know what it can do to help them live a better life and focus on the right things.
Sure.
So thanks so much, Brad. I appreciate you being on, and we'll look forward to having you on the 30th.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it.
You bet.